Hey guys, so listen, Kimura is one of the first moves you learn in jiu-jitsu. If you're a beginner and you've been training for 1 week, 2 weeks, chances are you already know what a Kimura is. But getting a Kimura is a whole different story. Now I wonder why people don't get it very often. Very few people attack the Kimura because they try a few times, they feel like their opponent's defending too easily maybe, and they kind of quit on the move. And that was me for the longest time. Like I just didn't really go for Kimura very often because it was just low percentage move. And then like I started doing something accidentally and it led to something else, and it was a game changer. And I figured a few things about the Kimura. I think a lot of people that are teaching the Kimura, they're teaching it somewhat incorrectly or just a harder way to actually finish, right? So I'll give you some of the concepts. Just put your feet over here, so yeah. So how do I even begin to set up my Kimura? Probably most common situation in side control, whether you're talking gi or no gi, by the way, guys, it's the same situation, the same technique. I do this gi and no gi, it makes no difference whatsoever. Is when he frames my neck, I don't want to bite right at the shoulder, I want to really bite close to the elbow, okay? The shoulder is too far away, plus when I'm going for my Kimura, I don't want his shoulder in there, guys. That's one thing I learned about the Kimura. You want to be as close as possible to the elbow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my hand's gable grip on top of his stomach or rib cage. And what I'm going to do here is you have to be kind of mean, not in a bad way, you're not going to hurt him, but you have to plink, right? All my weight is on my forearm. What that does, it pins him to the ground. So now if he wants to bridge, to explode, to get his arm out, it's going to be a lot harder because there's so much weight on him, right? And it also makes the Kimura very, very tight. So when I lean, I keep his arm very tight and I'm pinching his hand with my ear. So if he tries to move that arm, there's not a lot of wiggle room there. Now I like to step over the head and I start coming forward. Now what happens is a lot of times I'll tap him with a straight arm, but right about here, he's tapping, okay? I'll use my ear and I'll push his head into my shoulder and I caught him. He only has one option here, and that is to roll his thumb down, which they always do. And I let him, but on my terms. So when he starts rolling that thumb down, I put my face in the way, and look where my right hand is. So I catch him as he's rolling his thumb down to take the pressure off the armbar, and I keep my weight. I keep the plank though. Once I connect my Kimura, the plank stays. This is the part of the Kimura that a lot of people get wrong. Typically a Kimura is taught like this. And the reason why a lot of people teach it like this with the elbow on the ground is so my opponent doesn't hold on to his belt. First of all, no gi, there's no belt. Second, even if this were the gi, it would make no difference because holding the belt is not going to stop me from Kimuraing him because I don't have to move his hand. In a Kimura, let's go for a second, whether I move his hand or rather I lift his elbow, the end result is the same. So if I don't move his hand, as long as I raise his elbow, I tap him just the same. And that's where I put my focus is when I get this guy, I plank on my right elbow. Notice that I stay very close to his elbow and his shoulder is out of business. I don't want his shoulder in the Kimura. I want his shoulder out of the Kimura. And I keep the plank on my right elbow. I walk north-south, I step around his face. My weight is still on my right elbow. So what I'm gonna do here is notice that I'm not gonna move his hand. I'm gonna push off my left foot and he's tapping. So if you were holding his belt right now, it makes no difference whatsoever. If the grip on the belt breaks or he doesn't have a belt like it is now and he's not tapping for whatever reason, he's very flexible, I can always drop my elbow to the ground and his hand goes way back here and his elbow up here. That's how you break someone's arm. You gotta be really careful. You don't wanna do that, right? But if your opponent were very flexible, that's what you would do. So once again, he's here, he's framing the neck. I'm gonna bite the tricep, end of the tricep. I plank on his stomach. I walk around, I go like a straight arm bar. This is kind of tricky because I have to bring his elbow in and I push his hand out with my head and shoulder. He's tapping. The only option he has here not to tap is to roll his thumb. And when he rolls his thumb, my hand is right there to catch him. So now I just go with it. Look, I'm just rotating. And I did this rotation. It's more about moving the elbow than the hand. I don't push the hand. I keep the hand underneath his back and it's his elbow that's moving. Look, his hand stays put. That right there, okay? And I'm driving off my left foot to do this and I get that rotation. And the best part, the frame or the plank remains on his belly. I'm still putting all my weight on his belly with my right forearm. This kind of pins him down and makes it very difficult, hard for him to bridge and explode out of things. Guys, I kind of figured out this Kimura a few years ago on my own and game changer. I went from never getting Kimuras to being one of my favorite moves. I'm not saying it's the only way you can finish a Kimura. There are many different ways you can submit your opponent with a Kimura, but that's what's been working for me. If you forget everything I said about the Kimura, just give me like my, remember, you don't want the Kimura like this with the shoulder on the inside. You always want to get really close to the elbow. This is a tight Kimura right here. And then I lock it. I want I should be able to see the back of his elbow, but I should not be able to see his shoulder. That right there alone is a game changer, I promise you. Check it out with your friends at your gym, and then let me know how it goes. All right, guys, that's one of my favorite submissions right there. I use it all the time, gi and no gi. It's pretty simple. You all know the Kimura, but why are you not getting it, right? And the answer is you're missing details, and it all comes down to the details and the execution. So guys, watch the video, watch it again if you have to. You don't miss out on any of those details. If you like the video, remember to remember to subscribe, tell your friends. And if there's anything you guys want to learn, anything, position you guys are getting stuck in, comment below, let us know, and I'm happy to provide you guys with more answers to like any problem you're having, really. Chances are I've had that problem some way along my jiu-jitsu journey, and I'm happy to help you guys in any way I can.